Chairman, my amendment would prevent the cuts that the majority is pushing for particularly to reductions programs critical for our nation's infrastructure. The amendment stops the threat of a government shutdown by restoring 2024 appropriations to the funding levels we agreed to in the Fiscal Responsibility Act just earlier this year. Investing in infrastructure is not just about fixing roads and bridges, it's about building healthy communities. And the budget resolution before us would cut infrastructure funding for vital projects in my district and across America. And I want to talk about one today in San Diego that I'm particularly concerned about. We have a dangerous and critical health crisis plaguing the San Diego region. This is the raw sewage spilling into Tijuana River Valley, polluting our beaches and neighborhoods. The South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant is a critical facility. It's a United States facility managed by the U.S. International Boundary and Water Commission under the Department of State. Under an international treaty, by the way, Mexico pays the U.S. to treat sewage originating in Baja California. This is overflow that discharges into the Pacific Ocean and flows upward onto San Diego shores. This is a plant we built in the 1990s under bipartisan agreement with federal money. But today, the contaminated water contains raw sewage, industrial waste, trash, and even toxic chemicals. And currently, the plant's infrastructure remains exactly the same as it was when it was first constructed in 1997. Expansion of this plant is crucial to process the increased waste from Tijuana, whose population has grown by more than 1 million people since the plant was built. So we've been working on this. In 2020, the congressional delegation from San Diego and our senators, working with the Trump administration, secured $300 million associated with the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement to expand the plant's ability to treat wastewater from 25 million gallons a day to 50 million gallons a day. However, in June, IBWC, the federal government, informed the public that the treatment plant is in such bad shape from not being kept up over time through regular appropriations for infrastructure that we need to rehabilitate the plant before we can expand it. The effect of this is really remarkable. That we have raw sewage washing up on the shores of Imperial Beach, which is a community represented by Mr. Vargas, and as that dries, people are breathing fecal matter. The beaches in Coronado have been closed for 2 straight summers, year-round, because it's unhealthy. Meanwhile, we have Navy SEALs training in that water, telling us that they are swimming into pieces of feces that are coming out of this. This is a failure to invest in American infrastructure. This is a piece of American infrastructure that has seen years of underinvestment in construction and maintenance. It's left it in dire need of emergency repairs and expansion to treat untreated flows. This budget proposal and a possible shutdown would only make fixing things like this in San Diego and across the country that much tougher. The status quo in San Diego is unsustainable. It's unacceptable. We need help now, not cuts. We need action, not budget brinksmanship, and we need it now. The way to deal with this over time, I think, as I've talked about with the chairman and other members of this committee, is to get a fiscal commission to get ourselves in line, both for all kinds of spending, and that's going to be it's going to be a hard look at the budget. It's also going to be a hard look at our tax policy. But a budget needs to invest in America's success. This budget resolution and shutdowns interrupt the tourism and travel sectors, squeeze small businesses, leave behind communities, and put people at risk in places like San Diego, where we're confronting problems that we cannot solve on our own, like cross-border sewage that is literally sickening our community from a plant owned and operated by the United States of America. We got to get this right. This has got to stop. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I thank my